Orane Barthes works with JPMorgan Chase, an investment bank, and particularly has worked a lot on ESG and sustainability projects. Originally from France, currently living in Amsterdam. Welcome, Orane. Thank you for being on our show.
Thank you very much, Jacqueline, for welcoming me here today.
JPMorgan is one of the biggest asset managers in the world. They have huge private equity holdings. Typically, these private equity funds are not accessible for private individuals. Now through carbon equity, they are. Had you already been thinking about investing in venture capital and private equity, or was there another reason to start investing through carbon equity?
I didn't think about it before, because I didn't think it was really possible. And I have to say that what you're doing, what you set up, is very incredible. But because from my perspective, I always thought, like we were talking about, like that money is really the power. And I think that most of people would recognize themselves into me, which is like, okay, I don't have a lot of saving, but I want to place it right. And I want to place it also in something concrete. And when I first heard about carbon equity through a friend, I was very impressed how this all concrete was and how close you could be to your money and into what you are investing as a personal investor. Because I've seen that and I enjoyed it in my work at JPMorgan, like being able to finance things that are very concrete, businesses. But then when you're investing into carbon equity today, you invest basically into venture capital or private equity funds with a real company behind, with real project behind. So you can really see it, which I think is very powerful.
So you can see sort of the real world impact of your capital, which is directly funding these startup companies.
Exactly.
What was your main motivation to want to invest in climate technology solutions?
My main reason is that we all need to make a change into our private life, and it can be through a lot of different things. Like we just said, money is very important. Money is kind of ruling this world, and if we don't, and we can all make an impact.
Investing in venture capital and private equity, as you know, is relatively high risk. What were your main concerns before investing? What were your main doubts prior to investing?
Yes, so there is always this kind of question of like thinking if you invest to anything, you can lose it all, of course. But I think now that the stage also where carbon equity is today, after 3 years of being built, you see now a lot more funds are being raised. A lot of people believe in it as well. I think that should give us a lot of comfort that we want to make it to the next stage, and that there is, of course, some risk, but it's always better to bet on the upside.
You talk about investing for the planet. What are your personal financial goals?
So I think that if I think about me getting returns from my investments, one of my dreams would be to actually start a company of my own. And indeed, like talking about climate tech, that would be a big dream of mine, to be able to participate in such companies, into building one.
So currently you're a climate tech investor, but maybe one day you'll be a climate tech entrepreneur.
Exactly.
Cool.
I always have second thought.
Awesome.
Yes.
Finally, how has been your experience with carbon equity so far? Are there any things that have surprised you? Are there particular things that you like or do not like?
So my journey since I started investing into carbon equity has been great, because I've been very surprised to receive a lot of newsletter about my investment journey, but also about the new fund that you're raising. So it's always great, when you see a company that you're also getting part of being growing. I think that's the most thing I'm very proud of. Cool. And also since I've invested, I also participated to this one event in June where we could meet actually the different companies that we invested in. So meeting the team as well. So the journey has been really great so far. Also because you feel very part of the community.
Well, thank you very much for your insights and really cool to hear about your personal investing journey. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Jacqueline.
Would you also like to join a community of hundreds of climate investors? Sign up today to view our funds and start learning about climate investing from our experts.